Bonnie, and today we are in Split, Croatia with Royal Caribbean's Explorer of the Seas. Welcome to Split, and this is the Game of Thrones backdrop scenery for all you Game of Thrones enthusiasts. I visited Split before, back in 2018, but today we're here exploring something different. Our journey includes the historic sites of TROGIR and SALONA. So let's get started. This is a really nice Adriatic cruise section. We've gone to Dubrovnik yesterday. Today is Split. We were in Rome, and then tomorrow we'll be in Slovenia. So it's an interesting tour, and that's why I've chosen the Royal Caribbean Explorer of the Seas, and it's a unique itinerary. And from what I recall about this, the downtown area is straight this way. Split is a vibrant port city, easily walkable from the port area. While I didn't get into the port area this time, one benefit of having here before is that I have already seen the palace. It is worth noting that you can visit the famous palace here for just a few euro without needing a tour, and it's about a 10-minute walk from the actual ship. It's not designed like your traditional palace. It's more open-aired in a square because it was actually a working village within the palace.
Today we have almost a full bus, so if it gets too warm, just let us know. Today around 12 o'clock, so by the weather forecast we are expecting rain, but the weather changes here really randomly, rapidly.
Next we head to Salona, just located 5 kilometers from Split. Once this was the capital of the Roman province of Dalmatia. Salona was a large and significant city in ancient times, and today the ruins of Salona lie in the outskirts around the town of Solin.
Southern wind present, the southern weather, what we call. This is something that is also very typical here for the coast, not necessarily at this time of the year, this kind of weather, but the southern wind and the influence of the wind is frequently present here along the coast. Till 1962, this aqueduct was still in use. And as you can see here, this green zone with the river of Jadro, this is the very center of the city. The main church with the bell tower. It is also a very significant place to mention. Not far from this chapel there is also another archaeological site that dates to the 11th century, the time period when Solin was mentioned for the first time as the city, and it was also the city of the royals for a certain time, also a capital of the former kingdom of Croatia that lasted for almost 200 years, the 10th and 11th century, and some of the Croatian rulers were buried here.
This particular area is often overlooked, and the remains of Salona are comparable to those of Pompeii. The site includes remnants of a once thriving Roman city with over 60,000 inhabitants. This is a church. But to truly appreciate Salona, you have to have a guide because it provides context to the ruins and explains what you're looking at. Without a guide, it might just seem like another rune site. Is Salona, Croatia worth visiting? Yes, Salona is a very interesting place, especially if you enjoy exploring ruins. Here you can see a full town with buildings like a basilica, an amphitheater, a theater, residential zones, a small cemetery, and various gates, but they are all in ruins. We did enjoy our visit and spent about an hour exploring the site. The town of Salona and the Diocletian Palace in Split near the cruise port are the most remarkable Roman ruins on the southern Dalmatian coast of Croatia. The management of this gigantic property has been a challenge, and you can kind of see that in the preservation state of the ruins. The site is definitely worth visiting if you like historical ruins and want to learn more about the Roman history of Croatia.
Bath, a Roman bath.
If you are interested in learning about other places or about the Explorer of the Seas and all it has to offer, check out my Explorer of the Seas playlist for more travel tips and cruise insights and an in-depth account of wonderful ports and what a transatlantic cruise is like. West of Split on the Adriatic coast lies the historic Croatian harbor town of TROGIR, known for its fortified walls and stunning Romanesque, Renaissance, and Baroque architecture. TROGIR, often called Little Venice, is connected to the mainland and the island of Siovo by bridges. Its street plan dates back to the Hellenistic period, with different rulers adding many public and private buildings and fortifications over the centuries. And as we walk through the narrow, maze-like streets, you'll notice the influence of various rulers from Greeks and Romans to Venetians and Byzantines. TROGIR is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the town is a remarkable example of urban continuity with a history dating back to the 3rd century BC, founded by Greek colonists. TROGIR's picturesque harbor and seafront promenade are filled with charming cafes and restaurants, and interestingly, TROGIR is also a famous Game of Thrones filming location, representing the mythical city of QUARTH. One of the highlights of TROGIR is the Cathedral of St Lawrence. And this cathedral is the most distinctive building in TROGIR, dominating the area. Most of the construction took place in the 13th century, making the building primarily Romanesque in style, while the vault inside is Gothic, built in the 15th century. The bell tower of the cathedral is the tallest in the TROGIR area, and they say you can climb that for some stunning views. TROGIR's picturesque harbor and seafront promenade are filled with charming cafes and restaurants, and a lively nightlife with bars and pubs. Good ice cream at this place. And as we explore, you'll see the winding streets, hidden courtyards, and lovely flowers that add to the city's charm. TROGIR is definitely worth visiting, especially for its historic center and unique blend of architectural styles. Our time here is limited, and with the weather not being ideal, I can only imagine how nice it would be to sit down somewhere and enjoy a meal or some coffee. It's a little rainy right now. This is an old city. You will find lots of helpful tips and information about cruising on my channel, so subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thanks so much. This is kind of like a memorial to all the people that lost their lives in their war in 1991. And from TROGIR's stunning architecture to Salonna's ancient ruins, split surroundings offer a remarkable journey through time, and I'm really glad I was able to see that. Here's our ship. That's where you get off. You see the bus over there. But basically, if you're interested in going to Split, you walk straight up the street and you hang a left this way and you just follow along the water and the city is on your left. It's about a 10-minute walk. It has a nice palace to visit. It's medieval, 4 different entrances. There's places to eat, drink. There's like flea market stall type things. You can buy lots of little trinkets and souvenirs. You don't need to really do a tour for that. There are ferries over here that take you to other islands, but you wouldn't be able to do that in this amount of time. All on board is 5:30. It's a formal night-to-night, so I won't be walking that way. Croatia is really a nice place. We did Dubrovnik. Today we did Split. Tomorrow is Koper, Slovenia. We'll see how that works out. If you get a chance, you should come here. It's a really nice city. I really enjoy it. So also on my playlist for the Explorer of the Seas, I cover the Adriatic because we've done all this with what I've just mentioned to you, but also I did a transatlantic prior to that, so I have everything about the Explorer of the Seas, what it's like, what you can expect, the food, etc., etc. So make sure you check out my playlist up above, and as always, if you found this helpful or informative, please make sure you give that a thumbs up. Subscribe for more helpful tips and cruise information, and thanks so much for watching. Happy cruising, and until next time.